Have you experienced the awesome power of the Panasonic Real 3DO system? Obviously.
Presenting 3DO, the most advanced home gaming system in the universe. It's time to put away your toys.
3DO from Panasonic, Gold Star, and Creative Labs. A new low price and free games.
Mind-blowing graphics of Panasonic Real 3DO. 3DO.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 3DO Experience, the 3DO Retrospective Podcast.
Oh, you cut out on me again.
Oh.
Like right in the middle of the intro, you just died. I assume you asked me how I'm doing. I'm doing great, Bill. My hands are full nowadays because I bought some handhelds. Thank you, government. For those who don't know, you have to see the video version. I have the Switch 2. I finally got it. And I got the Xbox ROG Ally, the base one. Weirdly enough, the Switch 2 feels a little heavier than the ROG Ally. But, you know.
Switch 2 is weighty. It's like a weighty little thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Switch 2. It's a nice hardware upgrade. I compared the Switch 2 to like the PS5 to the PS4 or the Series X to the One, where it's like, it's a really nice hardware upgrade. You know, are there real games on it? It's a topic for a debate, but it's a nice thing to hold. Like in handheld, it feels a lot more comfortable. So that's nice. And everything just runs so much smoother on here. And it's a much nicer experience overall. Like, look, you can see the screen. Ooh, you can see my screen. So that's cool. And I did apparently they're getting rid of the Mario Kart bundle because to get the Switch 2, I had to go to like 3 different stores and 2 of them didn't have any. And then one of them had just the bare Switch 2s. And then out of curiosity, I called GameStop, and GameStop said, oh, they're getting rid of the Mario Kart World bundle. So unless you find one, it's gone. And I'm like, of course, right when I get money, right? So I went to the store that had them, bought the bare one, and here we are. So I'll have to pay the $80 for Mario Kart World in the future, probably when I get paid. So just to have it. So instead, I bought Bonanza because that was like the one game I was like really interested in playing. So I put a few hours in it, and it's all right. It's all right. It again, this feels like much in the way of like Mario Wonder. I feel like I'm being gaslit about this game because all the reviews are like people praising it to death and saying it's one of the best things like ever. Like it did my taxes, you know, it found my wife, you know, everything's great, right? But I'm playing it and I'm like, it's fun, but I'm not like in love with it. Like it's, I don't know, it's like Mario Odyssey, but you can just punch everything to death. And it's like, I feel like it's going to get real repetitive real quick.
I found the gameplay to be very compelling, like, and it to be just a generally fun experience, but I still think Odyssey is like a better game overall.
Oh yeah, it doesn't top Odyssey like at all. So honestly, I prefer Bowser's Fury.
That's fair.
But I'll play Bonanza through the end, of course. Why not? It's like the one Switch 2 game I got, so I might as well. Yeah. And then this boy, the old Xbox ROG Ally. This is the base one, so the white one, not the X. I like this guy quite a bit as well. He was lighter than I expected, but he's very comfy in the hands. It has like the bigger like Xbox style grips. So nice. And like the sticks and the buttons all feel really nice. You have like the full screen experience. So it's basically, if you're an Xbox guy, any game that is play anywhere, you can just natively install it on here because it's just a PC pretty much. And the Xbox Play Anywhere, like not every game gets it, but the idea is if you buy a game on Xbox on the console and you want to play it on PC, you can just install it there. You essentially bought 2 versions of the game. But of course, not every game has that because it's hard to convince publishers that it's okay doing that when some of them would be like, oh, they would just buy it on Steam again, even on a sale, you know? So, but I've been messing around. I haven't gone super deep in the testing, but I've been messing around with like the emulators, like going to the desktop, downloading all the emulators, running ROMs and all that stuff. And it all seems to work fairly well. Haven't gone into like PS3 yet because I tried to do 3D Game Heroes because of your and Rick's great episode on it for Pixel Project, but apparently 3D Game Heroes doesn't run well on our PCS3. God damn it!
Weirdly technical in like this places.
Yeah, so it just wouldn't run for me. I tried, I just couldn't get it to run. Unless I'm doing something wrong, please feel free to let me know. But also, PS3 emulation is weird because they want the update file from Sony's website. I feel like I just haven't figured it out. But like GameCube, PS2, all that back works just fine, no problems.
From what I've
even played some native stuff on here, and it works pretty well.
From what I read, I think 3D Game Hero is just one of those weird games that's just notoriously difficult to emulate.
Yeah. So, but apparently a lot of PS3 games still don't run. Like, I think every PS3 game you can boot it up on our PCS3, but do they all work? No. So that's kind of the issue. So, but yeah, hopefully I can get it all figured out and I'll go on like a God of War run on this guy. Because that's kind of what I want to do. It's like the one Sony series that I'm like, I really should sit down and play all those because I probably like them all. So, I mean, I can get all the PS2 guys running just fine, the PSP ones. It's just God of War 3 is going to be like the tricky one because of PS3, right?
Yeah.
But this guy has Steam, so I can get, I think, is it just God of War 2018 on Steam or is Ragnarok on Steam too?
I don't know. I know 2018 is. I haven't seen Ragnarok. Well, I haven't even bought Ragnarok yet, so
neither have I. But I'll find out. But yeah, I've just been messing with handhelds lately, so it's been both of them are on Steam. Hell yeah!
I still gotta mess around.
I will buy both of them on a sale.
I still gotta mess around with my PlayStation Portal. I finally got one of those. I just haven't had the time to sit down and figure out how it works.
Isn't it just like a cloud streaming thing?
Something like that. It's I want to see if I can get Tales of Berseria running on it, and I can just play that one.
Well, because this guy this guy's a cloud streamer as well, but I haven't tested it at all, so that I don't know. I could try to see if Berseria would run on this guy, but to be determined.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm all handheld crazy right now. I even bought one of the little express cards for the Switch too because they were running them on a sale. So I was like, I might as well just grab it while it's here.
Yeah.
That's really all I've been doing. What have you been doing, Bill?
I went to Texas. That's been my that's what I've done recently.
He's avoiding income tax, people.
No, I went to go watch cars go fast around Cowboy Stadium because why not?
Was Jerry Jones there?
He was, and the cheerleaders were. And
did you say hi to Jerry?
No, because he was like really far away. And
I would have went up to him and been like, "Why'd you trade Macca?"
See, I don't know what that means.
Some about glory holes. Or ask him about glory holes.
No, I was too busy trying to cross a pedestrian bridge because my God, it took they did not plan the amount of people there. Crossing the bridges to get over the track was a nightmare. It was fun. Otherwise, it was cool seeing the area. It's beautiful there.
Yeah, your nose looked like it had a fun time.
Oh yeah. Ironically, the nose doesn't hurt at all. My arms are a little rough, but
yeah.
That's what happens when you go from it being cold and rainy and snowy to 80 degrees and sunny.
Yeah. All us pale whites out here,
Oh yeah, I just burn. I don't tan.
I can tan, but it's an issue. So
the amount of effort it would take for me to tan just isn't worth it.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so Bill, why don't you tell the audience what we're doing this week before we get into the news?
All right. Well, for this week, we're going to do something a little fun. We're not covering a game mostly because of scheduling issues. We'll get to that. We'll get to our original plans later. But this episode, we're actually going to be reacting to the 1995 E3 presentation that 3DO did. Their only E3 appearance, which happened to be at the first E3. and it was something. That's the best way to
Oh
describe it.
yes, I have not watched this at all. I assume you have, Bill.
I've seen it like years ago because I have watched this entire presentation. Like you can find
Yeah.
it online. You have to piece it together. There's no like full rip of it anywhere. But I mostly know it's hilarious. The thing that's hilarious about 3DO is they're notable for being there, but they're like not even close to being the most infamous things that happened at this presentation.
Oh yeah, not even close.
But we'll get into a bit more of that once we start talking about the topic.
Yeah, but let's get into our news. There really isn't that much, but we'll cover it a little bit. The first thing related to the Switch 1 or related to Switch 2, Switch 2 is finally letting you play Switch 1 games in docked mode while playing on handheld. So I guess beforehand with a Switch 2, if you wanted to play a Switch 1 game but undocked, it would render how original Switch 1's games did at like 720p. But obviously the Switch 2 has a 1080p display and it can run games better. So in this latest Switch system update, if you want to play a Switch 1 game handheld, it'll assume that you're playing in docked mode and will render at a better resolution and a frame rate now. I find it interesting it took them that long to do that. I just assumed it would have been fine, but I believe all the Switch 1 stuff is emulation. So
yeah,
that's
like such a
fix that.
Such a Nintendo-esque thing. Like,
yeah, and there's a bunch of other stuff they mentioned in here. Some other things that you could do one way or the other, kind of a thing. But that was like the big one. So I haven't messed with the GameCube app. I have it, but I haven't really messed with it. And I totally forgot the game chat was a thing because I haven't bothered whatsoever.
I'm not buying that microphone because we have cord for now.
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, no need for that. Let's see. What else do we have? I guess, the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salam, his firm has acquired 5% of Capcom. So our buddy Tony mentioned this to me the other day that, I guess the Saudis are, because I had forgotten the Saudis basically acquired the entirety of SNK. I forgot that they had. And they recently bought all of Evo. And they're gonna ruin Evo by doing an Evo event every month or something like that. Really bad. And now they have 5. Well, it's like this firm has 5% of Capcom, and then I believe there's like something else, another thing connected to the Saudis that has 5% as well. So now they have like 10% in Capcom or something. I don't know. It's weird, but it's like, oh man, they're slowly going to erode everything with all of their blood money. It's like, didn't they kill that journalist? Yeah. It's just a shame that, these companies like Capcom and Nintendo or the other companies that they've acquired have just like haven't said anything against it. Been like, maybe we shouldn't do this, but it's capitalism. Who actually cares?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Like socialism kills everybody, but when you mention all the bad stuff capitalism does, they're like, la, 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 I can't hear you.
Yeah. Did you see the other Capcom thing that was going around?
What was the other one?
The voice actor for Mega Man announced that he will not be returning to the role for the new Mega Man game.
There's a Mega Man voice actor?
In 11, he was voiced by Ben Diskin, I believe.
I do not remember Mega Man talking in 11.
That's fair. It wasn't major, but apparently,
sure, I guess.
Apparently, he announced online that he will not be returning, and I believe it has to do with union shit. So.
Yeah, because the Japanese companies don't like working with Western Union people.
Yeah, it's a thing that's been going on in the dubbing world lately. I've noticed a lot of.
Yeah.
I know a lot of VAs that were doing Crunchyroll stuff no longer are doing Crunchyroll stuff. Crunchyroll is one of the few that are still non-union. Last I checked.
Yeah. It's just, all these people are like, oh, Japan is so much better than the US. I'm like, you sure about that, buddy?
I saw that though, and I was like, oh.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Again, it's like I've seen stuff where I saw another thing. I think it was an article where somebody was talking about how like in Japan, they have like more stricter labor laws, as like you can't just like fire people for whatever, right? But I saw something where in Japan, the like new hires into like the tech and video game industry have gone drastically down. And basically someone was saying if they could fire people like they do in the West, they would, but they kind of can't. So, so when you see these people, when you see these like layoffs in the industry over here and everyone's like, oh, Japan, they're so much better about it. It's like, no, they would be just as ruthless if they were allowed to. Like, like they're not hiring new people. It's a whole thing. Okay. So again, it's just, guys, actually do some fucking research and stop sucking off Japan. Cause it's, cause, oh, they make all the weeb shit I like. It's like, actually look into how they handle things. Okay. But media literacy, America, they don't mix. Sorry. So I just had to get that off my chest. Anyway.
It's all good.
All right. Well, speaking of bullshit, we'll finish off with this because I saw this. NVIDIA announced DLSS 5. I believe it's like the newest update to their DLS. I feel like I can't say it right. DLSS technology, where it's like the upscaling. And it's been met with a lot of criticism because it says here, whereas previous iterations have used AI technology to upscale game resolution or improve frame rates, this one uses an AI model to alter the visuals of supported games to what NVIDIA calls photoreal lighting and materials. DLSS takes a game's color and motion vectors for each frame as input and uses an AI model to infuse the scene with photoreal lighting and materials that are anchored to source 3D content and consistent from frame to frame. So basically, the short of it is you can now take, they're like, oh, you can like take character models in games that are already out and upgrade them. And by upgrading, you can basically turn every character in every game into a yassified looks maxer.
Oh, is this what that goddamn Final Fantasy VII picture I saw was?
Yes. Well, here, Bill. Let me show you. Here, I'm gonna send you this picture that basically is from the video. Where the one on the left is what I believe this is Requiem. Like, what's her name? Is it Kate? The girl in Requiem? I haven't played it yet. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up because I feel bad not knowing.
Oh, Resident Evil, I believe so. Yeah.
Grace. Sorry, Grace. So the left is what Grace looks like in the game, and then the right is putting up the new DLSS 5 technology. So I'm sending it to you now because I know you haven't seen it. So okay. Yeah, and this is what everyone's complaining about.
Oh. I see.
So naturally, people are just saying this is just a garbage AI filter you're putting on games with really out the company's consent, because there's a bit of that there. They also showed off like
all these memes.
Yeah. Oh, the memes for this have been great. Honestly, it's been funny. Yeah, they showed off this Starfield and Assassin's Creed Shadows as like their games to be like, oh, look at this or whatever. And then like Bethesda came out after it being like, guys, we still have control over this. We're not going to make it so bad. We promise, Bethesda doing damage control, which is funny because it's not really their fault. You know what I mean? But like
Bethesda just assumes. They just assume it's going to get blamed on them.
Yeah, so they're just like, hang on, guys. They're like, this is still under the artist's control. We're not. Basically, they're saying we're not going to cut jobs because of this. We promise. Honestly, I mean, their games are so big, they kind of need all the help they can get. Yeah. They got to get Elder Scrolls. They got to get Elder Scrolls 6 out of the door before we all die.
And it'll still be broken at launch.
But yeah, like people are kind of up in arms about this. Though to be fair, it is an option. You do not have to turn it on, which is nice. But still, it's like just seeing everything turn into just like garbage AI filters and like trying to turn everybody into like the incels perception of what people should be, because the way they turn Grace, it's like, what are we doing, guys?
Why does she have so much chin?
Again, it's like, as I said, it's all these fucking weird chud looks maxer bros, who are just like, it's eugenics is what they're doing. Like, that's really what it, like I've for some reason I've been looking into looks maxing a bit because I've been hearing the term a lot, and I'm like, what the fuck is all this? I've been doing some research into it, and I'm like, oh, it's basically just like white eugenics. That's what we're doing right now. Especially when I heard that there was like one or two like black looks maxers that tried to get into it, and they got hit with racism immediately. Like immediately. Like they didn't even try to hide it. Like, we're fucked. We're fucked. I'm waiting for the meteor. Yeah.
Typhoon.
Yeah.
Big typhoon that just wipes all away.
Well, I have my handheld, so I'll be able to, ride the wave playing something, so I'll be okay.
I'll have a paddle.
just use this. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
But that's the news. Not a lot of positive stuff, unfortunately, but
No, that seems to be happening lately.
Yeah, honestly, the most positive thing is, I entered into the Switch 2 realm. Look at me. I'm finally here.
What do you think about the magnetic Joy-Cons? I'm still not 100% sure about them.
I like them. Honestly, they feel sturdy. Like holding it like this, I don't feel like they're gonna pop out. Though I like the button, so I can just boop. I like it. It feels nice. No, you know what I hate? The one thing I hate? Hold on. Are these fucking things? Like, what are we doing, guys? What are these? Audio listeners, they're the little attachments that you put on the Joy-Con so you can have them like in like Wii remote mode, pretty much. They're these like weird, like hollowed ring things. Like, in a way, I get it, because if you look at the Joy-Cons, right? Like, you can tell they made these more with the idea that people will play them like this, and they do feel a little bit more comfortable playing them like as one controller. So this is like them trying to compromise it, but it still just doesn't like it. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to lose these at some point in my life.
I already don't remember where mine are, so that's probably a bad sign.
Well, I'll remember, because my son will want to play Switch Sports, so I'm going to need him for that. So
I need to go find mine now, because I don't know where. Oh, geez.
Well, and one thing I find really nice is that the Switch 1 Pro controller is usable.
Yes, I use that.
So I will. Yeah, so I'm keeping. Well, I have the Switch 2 Pro controller. It's fine. It's all right. Like, there are things about it I think are nicer than the original Switch Pro controller, but there are some other things that I have questions about.
That's fair.
And it's way too expensive. I paid way too much money for this goddamn thing.
But
I have it, and it's okay. It's okay. The D-pad feels a little better. Like, all the buttons feel a little bit better. What bothers me really is how thin the sticks are. You know, like they're noticeably thinner, and I'm like, should I be worried about that? I don't know. And I wish we had analog triggers, but whatever.
Yeah, can't win them all, unfortunately.
Oh well. I mean, they're not going to put analog triggers on the Joy-Cons, so
no,
I don't blame them. So, but yeah, that's pretty much everything that I can think of.
We did get new Nintendo music.
Ooh.
It's one that when I saw it, I was kind of like, that wasn't already there.
How many of those are there?
A lot. This was one that surprised me, though.
Oh, really? That wasn't there? Okay.
No. Super Metroid.
I'm fine with that.
I love Super Metroid soundtrack.
Where's the baby? Where's the baby?
I love Super Nintendo music.
I don't like it as much as some other people do, but Super Metroid is a good soundtrack, though.
I mean,
a good soundtrack to a good game.
I prefer the Genesis sound card, just weirdly, but I love Super Nintendo, like what they certain games did with it.
It has more personality, I think.
Mm.
But I think it's fair to say that like the worst Super Nintendo music isn't as bad as the worst Genesis music.
Well, the worst Super Nintendo music just sounds lazily composed. The worst Genesis music sounds like wet farts. So,
yeah. It's your tolerance for wet farts, basically.
wet farts and twang. Like it's the.
I like it. I love the twang. I love the FM synthesis twang. I could do that all day. So
I mean, it's good, but when it's done badly, it's done badly.
Oh,
like,
for sure. Like the best Genesis music was done by people who clearly know how to make it work. You know,
mostly
really
first
get
party
the
Mega
most out of
stuff.
it. Oh, there's some good
Produce it,
third party
show.
stuff.
Oh yeah,
Like I would argue the interplay games like Earthworm Jim and Boogerman and all that sound way better on the Genesis than the Super Nintendo. Like they were made for that game.
There's definitely like exceptions
Oh
here
yeah.
and there, and I still one of my favorite pastimes is still looking up like Sega Genesis remixes of songs, just because it's such an interesting, unique set.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Super Metroid, good soundtrack and a good game. If you haven't played it, you should go play some Super Metroid sometime. You know, you should see what the big deal is.
Yeah, and then play Fusion.
Oh, for sure.
But I guess we can get into the topic now.
Yeah, let's
the
do
first E3. So a little backstory before we get into it. The first E3 was obviously the Electronic Entertainment Expo.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I mean, it's a concept that's
How many years has it been dead now? How many years has it been?
Let's see. The final E3
was it 22?
I don't even think 22. I think it was canceled. The final one was 21, and it was like, and that was after they missed.
That was the That was the COVID one where it was all virtual.
Yeah, no one liked it, so they gave up.
Okay, I thought they tried it one more time. So it was 21. It's been 5 years.
Yeah, because it ran from 95 to 2019. They skipped 2020 for these reasons, and then they tried one more. But by then, everything was digital anyways, and like all the companies were basically just doing their own presentation. So there was legit no reason for E3 to exist anymore.
And then they were going to try it again, but I think they were having a hard time getting companies to like buy into it. Because if I remember how it worked was the ESA would charge companies for like floor space and like, you know, time basically to like it was floor space originally when it was the physical event. And then when it was the COVID one, it was like essentially buying ad time, you know, like for
pretty much
like on TV or whatever. And yeah, all these companies were like, wait, if you're going to pay us to live stream our stuff, like we could just hit record over on our end and just do it. So what's the fucking point? You know, like I think Nintendo,
yeah,
when they went to the direct format, and was it 2013? It was around like the Wii U time.
I believe so.
That was really the beginning of the end of E3 right there. It was going to be a slow death because people were going to take a long time to adopt it. But then COVID happened, and then it kind of fast forwarded everybody adopting it, and now we are where we are. So yeah, that's crazy. It's been 5 years, man.
It's been a while, and it's really sad how nobody misses it. Really, like
well, also the ESA are terrible.
True. Well, yeah. It's
so like I don't mind that they're probably out of business. I don't mind. They're shitty people. Yeah, we're not going to get into the details of why the ESA sucks. If you're not sure, go do your research. There's quite a bit that happened. We won't talk. There
was a mystique to E3 that I think it was more just like people have the only thing people miss are like some of the famous E3 moments from over the years.
Yeah,
but the event itself is kind of just a thing that I don't think we really are going to ever miss.
Well, because I think people liked the pageantry of like the 2000s and the 2010s and like the console war stuff. And E3 felt like every year was like a battlefield where these companies like, you know, came out here and tried to fight for our attention, really. Whereas like these days, they really don't care anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's such a different landscape now. And I think it's just people miss that time where it was like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, oh, like Sony would come out and talk dog shit about Microsoft, and then Microsoft comes out and talks dog shit about Sony, and Nintendo's like, we're here, guys. Here's Wii Music. You know, like
Oh god,
I think just people miss all of that like pompous crap, you know, which is fine.
yeah.
Like there was a mystique to it because these days that stuff doesn't exist anymore. So I kind of get it, but
like I still remember the Twilight Princess reveal and how like people lost their fucking minds.
like people were crying seeing Miyamoto come out with a sword and shield.
Yeah, and then we get a clip of like
times, man.
We get a clip of like a somewhat GameCube looking Link Force, and it's like people were like, "It's the greatest thing ever," and I'm like,
yeah, when they saw like
better.
it's not Toon Zelda, and I'm like, guys, this game's worse than Toon Zelda. Sorry,
just
Twilight Princess
just
is as good as Wind Waker. It's not. I'm sorry.
Twilight Princess is just a less interesting Ocarina of Time. I don't even think Ocarina of Time's that good. Yeah, I said it.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I wish I had a soundboard.
Majora's Mask was better.
I don't even like Majora's Mask. I like Ocarina of Time more than Majora's Mask.
That's fair. I think Majora's Mask is more interesting. I'm not even a big Zelda guy, so.
I mean, we don't have to get into it. I just think the whole time mechanic in Majora's Mask is just like way overblown and just makes the game more of a hassle than it needs to be. That's just
once you figure it out, it becomes a non-issue. I enjoy just the.
I just think it's unnecessary. It doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, that's true.
But oh well.
But
just let me sail on the open seas. That's all I care about.
That's fair. I mean, Wind Waker is better than most of the games in the series.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. It's up there. But anyways, but yeah, I think people miss all that bullshit with E3. So I think that's what it is. Because like nowadays we have Summer Game Fest, the Keighley thing, and then Keighley doing the Game Awards, and it's like. I guarantee you people are going to look back on the Game Awards in like 10 years time and go, man, those were like really cool events and some great times. I already know what's going to happen. And we're all going to be like, no, we all were shitting on it back then. What are you talking about? Like, but yeah. that's just nostalgia is basically people going, oh, that thing was really cool back then. And then people who were around back then going, no, that actually like sucked. You know, you're just a child.
Yeah. Like most people, when they think of E3 now, they think of the memes, like the infamous Reggie, like "My body is ready," or
yeah, I'm about kicking ass,
or my personal favorite, the disastrous PS3 launch with the $599 $599.
Giant enemy crab.
Press X for massive damage.
But that is honestly that is a fun press conference to watch because it's just you're watching them and you're like, guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then,
I mean, my favorite,
just for absolute cringe, is that ending. I forget which I think it was 2008 when Nintendo was making Wii music like their big thing. And then it ends with all of them like badly playing like Mario in Wii music, like the dude trying the drum. It is so bad. It's so bad. But it's a train wreck. I can't look away. There
was also Ubisoft. Ubisoft towards the end became the meme machines, like the
where they bring a bunch of people out to dance because Just Dance, right?
Or Mr. Caffeine, the guy that was like widdly 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 like the entire time, and I was like,
oh, you remember the guy?
Find this?
Do you remember the Peggle 2 guy?
Yeah, that
guy's a legend. Or I forget the other guy. He has a name, but we all just call him Mr. Caffeine.
Mr. Caffeine, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's a lot of quirky things about E3, and it was fun. But what else you got?
There was also that one Sony year where like Sony had like a run of just bad E3s, and then they were finally having one that looked really good, and then they ended it off on the fucking like Magic Book series or whatever, Wonder Book, whatever that stupid PlayStation Move thing that bombed.
It had to be like 2011, I think.
It was before PS4, it was PS3, but I always remember it because it was like the thing. I think
it was around the time they were finally starting to get their shit together, and then it's like, wait a minute.
It's like I think the joke was someone was like, I forget who had said it, but they described it as like Sony's running up the mountain to grab like the Olympic torch, and then as they're halfway up, they trip over this book, and then they just stare at it for like 20 minutes, derail everything, and then continue up the mountain.
Yeah. Do you remember the it was the Xbox one where they unveiled Kinect?
Oh yeah, virtual trip to Disney World.
or Kinectimals, where they had that like little girl like awkwardly stand up there and pretend to like be licked by the little tiger.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm getting like Mio, where it was like basically a Kinect AI chatbot that was being made by the Fable guy, Peter Molyneux. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it was.
Oh yeah, the Milo.
Milo, that's what it was. God, I was thinking Mia. Yeah, Milo. Mia. Sorry, playing Fatal Frame. Like, oh God, what are we doing? It's so.
I think one of my favorites was the year Sony had the Vita and they were unveiling like how you could like remote play games, and the game they showed off was like Far Cry 4. And I always remember because like the guy who was announcing it was like super extra for no reason. Or we're gonna play some Far Cry 4. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man.
Is that part of that unveiling when they're like, oh, you can get like the mobile plan through like, or we'll have like 4G through AT&T or whatever, and everybody booed them?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With the Vita?
Exclusively, the 3G only worked via AT&T, and the entire crowd lost their shit. Yeah, classic.
Oh, yeah. Didn't they get rid of that like pretty quickly after that?
I think they discontinued the 3G version. No, because no one bought it because no one cared that much to play the Vita with 3G.
Exactly. Yeah, my Vita collects dust these days. Actually, I should see if Vita emulation works on my ROG. I should give it a try. It might work.
Yeah.
But yeah. E3 is a crazy, chaotic time.
Yeah. Going back to the original E3, though, it famously began on May 11th, 1995. So I was like a couple months old. And it ended.
I was not even a year.
Yep. And it ended May 13th. So it was like a 3-day event.
Yeah, like normal.
50,000 people apparently attended it.
I think it was originally wasn't it in Atlanta?
It was actually Los Angeles, California.
Oh, it was in LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was at the place where it always had been.
Well, because I know they moved at one point to Atlanta.
Oh, maybe they did well, I mean, they did that weird year where they split it in half and they had like E for all and all this other weird shit.
I hold on. I gotta see.
You know what's,
hold on. Oh, so yeah,
really
it was E3's 97 and 98 were in in Atlanta in the Georgia World Congress Center. And then 95, 96, 99 to 06 were in the LA Convention Center. They did 1 year in Santa Monica for some reason. And then I believe the rest of them were in LA after that. Yeah. So there we go.
But so obviously,
because I think those years in Atlanta,
the first E3's a one
because it was cheaper. Oh, they moved to Atlanta because they couldn't get the convention center, so that's why they did Atlanta those couple years. So anyway,
but yeah. So we'll go into some of the other things that happened at this E3 after. But first, we're going to talk about the actual video presentation, because 3DO had a presentation at this one in like their last year of being relevant as a console manufacturer. Yeah. And their presentation was a thing. That's the best way to describe it.
Well, and looking at this, the presenters at the original E3, for those curious, are 3DO, Atari, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sega, Sony, and SNK.
Yeah. What a time.
An interesting lineup of characters.
So we're going to now go over the somewhat short event.
Apologies to all the audio listeners. You're not going to get much out of this.
Yeah. Well, you'll hear the event and you'll hear our comments on it. But yeah, so I found this on YouTube. It's a not a great quality rip, so apologies for that. But yeah,
it's 3DO quality.
Yeah, it's in 2 parts. It's like maybe like 20 minutes. So let's do this.
I'm gonna look at all the charts.
Give you a brief update about the status of the 3DO business. A really brief update would be my taxi ride back into the convention today. My Russian cab driver wanted to know
M2
what
announcements.
this big show was all about. And I told him. And he said, well, what are some of the products? So of course, I talked about my favorite product. And he said, well, that sounds great, but what's it cost? And I said, $3.99. And he said, $3.99? Is that all?
Is that trip?
Proceeded to tell me that it was very strange coming to America.
I think that is,
finding
yeah.
out that everything great about America had to do with all these incredible electronics inventions. You know, leaders were clearly the leaders of our society, but he didn't understand why the
Watermark.
had all the money and power. So that was my tax write.
Shout out to that guy. He hasn't posted in like 14 years.
Anyway, what I'd like to do is give you a brief update on the current 3DO business, then get into the M2 product, and then we'll get a demonstration. Okay, we crossed over the magic 500,000 unit threshold. This is particularly important in installed base because we now have 10 titles that have done over 100,000 sales. We have about 20 to 30 titles that have done over 50,000 units. So we now have a very profitable.
That's not very good.
Even in 95, that's not great.
One of our real strong points competitively. Just this week,
It would only hit 2 in total, so.
Title for the 3DO system worldwide. And that's dramatically more, 10 times more than the number of titles that our new competitors will have in the market this year.
The guy filming this is like.
Not only are the
Bro, a Steadicam exists.
there just continues to be a very strong and growing backlog.
Somebody's pager's going off.
So we expect to finish the year with well over 300 titles.
That's all the system would have.
They've actually done well. They made it into the Babbage's top 10.
Oh yeah, pause it. For our audio listeners, we need to know. Does that say Baggage's top 10? Who's Baggage?
Babbage's. It was a
who's Babbage?
Store. It was like a retail chain. I don't think they exist anymore.
Okay, yeah. For our audio listeners, they list Babbage's top 10 industry bestsellers for the 3DO. They are number 1, Gex. Number 2, Myst. Number 3, Return Fire. Number 4, Need for Speed. Number 5, FIFA Soccer. Number 6, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Slayer. Number 7, Shockwave. Number 8, Jurassic Park. And no 9 or 10. But next to it, they have. Next. Yeah, that's just 8 out of 10. But to the right of it, we have what's just called Other Hits. And the other hits are Total Eclipse, Draw Mad Football, Road Rash, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And I believe looking at this list, the only game we haven't covered is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
What I find really funny is the top 10, top 8's over here. And then literally, wait.
That's 12. That makes it 12. 8 plus 4 is 12.
I was going to say, though, in the other hits category, like literally 3 of these, and even 4 to a degree, are like some of the best games on the system. Like literally.
But I think it's more just in terms of sales.
Oh, it probably is.
Like here's the games that are like selling the best. So, you know, and just like in 95, like it is today, sports games are all over the bestsellers. Okay. It is just a common thing, guys.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, you RPG boys. You're not gonna beat Madden. I'm sorry. It's just not happening.
Well, Final Fantasy VII hadn't come out yet by this point. So what's an RPG?
I'm pretty sure. I think Madden would still consistently outsell Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. But also certain Maddens are actual RPGs too. But you know,
true. Technically,
yeah, bro. It's just bro math. So, but yeah, looking at this list, yeah, we haven't done the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons game yet. So, but that one we should probably do that one this year sometime because I would like to play it.
I'm sure we'll get to it. All right, let's see where this goes.
Selling products for all of the formats, including the cartridge systems. And there have been 8 titles so far that have sold well enough for Babbage's to make it in their monthly top 10, even though they're only available on the 3DO format. And we've had a number of other titles that have done very well. So we've had quite a few industry bestsellers. We have a great roster of titles coming at the show.
All right.
So I think why it was 8. I think he said is that these 8 games have consistently appeared in Babbage's monthly top 10 best-selling games.
Gotcha.
I think
That
is what he
makes more
meant.
sense.
But part of me finds that hard to believe because it's like, I'm assuming this is just for like that last like fiscal year, right? A part of me just finds that hard to believe because like if we're going like 94 to 95, like that fiscal year, like there was so much other stuff that came out that I feel like, and also like Super Nintendo and Genesis were doing incredibly well. So like doing way better than fucking 3DO. So it surprises me. You know, I'm not saying it's fake. It just looks a little sus.
Yeah. Interestingly here, there's the list of upcoming titles for the 3DO, and
Oh yeah.
some of these never came out. Like,
Yeah, well,
notably,
what's 11th hour?
I don't know what that one is. I'm going to look that up because I'm
Yeah.
curious.
I've seen Magic Carpet before, but I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know if that came out on 3DO. I know it. Searching 11th hour doesn't give you a helpful result, by the way.
Well,
game.
here, let me. Yeah. 11th hour.
Oh,
Game.
that is not what I was expecting. Oh, it's the sequel to The Seventh Guest.
There was a sequel to The Seventh Guest? I
Yeah,
shouldn't be that shocked. But yeah, it says here a 3DO version was planned but never released.
Interesting.
Seventh Guest didn't come out on 3DO either.
It did not. That's actually fascinating because,
So that's weird. It would get the sequel, but not the original version.
well, so 11th hour never came out. EA Baseball definitely didn't come out because baseball is one of the things that we didn't get an American version like game over here.
Yeah, there are some Japanese baseball games on 3DO, which we'll get to at some point.
And then NHL 96 also did not come out. Surprisingly, I guess. I found that one a little odd.
Yeah, so Magic Carpet was a 3D flying game developed by Bullfrog, published by EA. It came out on computers, PlayStation, and Saturn, but did not come out on 3DO. It doesn't even reference, like the Wikipedia doesn't even mention that a 3DO version was in the works. It does. It actually does down here because it was also going to come to the Jaguar CD at one point too. Ooh.
So you could buy your Jaguar CD and it wouldn't work.
So some of these games, as you said, did not come out. So,
but ironically, all the other ones.
Go ahead.
I was going to say most of the other ones that did we have covered, like Wing Commander 3.
Slam
we haven't done
Jam.
Killing Time yet.
No,
it's actually crazy. Blade Force hadn't come out yet because Blade Force, that's like one of like the most like common games for the system that you generally tend to see.
Yeah, like Primal Rage, Foes of Ali, we've done those. And yeah, funnily enough, seeing the 11th hour, I think it was a while ago, Seventh Guest is getting a full-on remake, modern remake.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, and they're maintaining the FMV like acting, like they're just getting new people to do it, which is cool. So
that's cool.
I'm not a big fan of the Seventh Guest. I think that game has aged horribly, but I have a lot of respect for it. So, and I will check out that remake because why not?
Nice. All right, let's continue.
We're showing dozens of new products.
It's not dozens.
This slide, particularly the sports area.
Trip's confused.
This year, particularly EA Sports. New
He's trying his best.
Like Primal Rage. Key hit titles.
Like the guy in the background. Yes.
Bro, Primal Rage is not material.
Game releases by Studio 3DO, including Blade Force and Killing Time. So that's just a sampling of the titles we have. We've had a lot of progress in the marketplace. So there's a group called Tris.
Did they make this in Did they make this in PowerPoint?
The largest chains
Probably.
of retail stores in the country. And last year we hardly even registered in the Tris database.
What does TRSTS stand for?
Wait.
Last year
What is 32-bit awareness? Like what?
I mean, if you think about it, like there wasn't that many 32-bit systems. There was 3DO, there was PlayStation, there was Saturn, Virtual Boy technically, and then that was it.
GBA.
GBA, yeah, but that's really it as far as 32-bit systems go.
Technically, the Wii and Wii U are 32-bit. and GameCube.
We're not going there. Okay, stop it. But yeah, I think number one in 32-bit awareness means that, like, if you think about it, at this time, it was the only 32-bit console out there. Because, Saturn hadn't surprise launched yet.
Was the 32X a thing yet?
Yeah, but that's an add-on.
True.
Yeah, the 32X was out at this point. But, like, if I remember, like, May 11th is when the Saturn surprise launched. Big mistake.
Was that weird Amiga 32 CD, whatever the fuck thing out at this
That
point?
might have been, but who gives a fuck about that, right? So, but yeah, you had, like, the Saturn was just about to launch, and then you had PlayStation, which was a couple months out. So technically, when it comes to 32-bit awareness, whatever that means, I mean, at that point, they are the only 32-bit console on the market.
That's
really,
fair.
because other than that, you have Super Nintendo and Genesis. So, yeah, number one brand in Q scores. What the hell's a Q score? Like Q Branch from 007 really likes the 3DO.
I guess like quality, maybe quality scores.
I don't know, man. Quantity. We have bunch of these in the stores. We can't sell them. 30% of the February Japan share. I don't like how that's worded. I think what that means is, like, February, like, hardware sales in Japan in February of 95, 3DO accounted for 30% of them. I think that's what that means. And it's like, that's not bad. Like, that's not bad at all. So, because as we've mentioned before, 3DO did have a bit of a cult following in Japan.
It did.
And then, yeah, like 35% in TRSTS 3DO stores. What does that mean? Hold on. I need to know what that. You talk. I'm going to find what TRSTS means.
So trusting the AI overview, which is sketchy. Apparently, it's teachers and resource specialists, but for some reason I don't think that's what they mean here.
First thing I see is toy retail sales tracking service, a
That
system
makes a
used in the
lot more
video game
sense.
industry to track sales figures. Yeah, so this is like inside baseball we're looking at. So they accounted for 7.5% of hardware sales in general. I'm assuming in just North America. I don't know if it's like a worldwide thing. It might be. And then 35% in 3DO stores. What's a 3DO store? Like, there's no digital storefront. Like, what does that mean?
I'm assuming that just means like stores in general.
I don't know.
Maybe like brick and mortar. Like,
I mean, there's no other way to buy a 3DO at that time. I mean, you could maybe mail order one in, but
I don't know. It's 3DO was so weird because of the multiple variations and stuff.
I mean, this market facts. I mean, I want to put facts in quotes here.
Yeah. Well, like, a lot of people joke saying 3DO had really no idea like what kind of conference this was supposed to be, because like this is shit like
this looks like we're sitting in on like a shareholders meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is
this is made in like PowerPoint for Windows 95. Was Windows 95 out by this point? It might have been. I don't know.
Maybe.
But this is like very much like PowerPoint. I made a PowerPoint that looked almost like this in freaking middle school.
Oh yeah. Well, it's interesting because the first E3 wasn't really attended by the clientele that like people would expect from E3. There was a lot of business.
This is like business and journalists and like insiders kind of a thing. It wasn't meant for the public.
Yeah, or it kind of devolved into that and became
I mean, some people tried to argue like if E3 went back to being just an insiders only type event, maybe it could have survived. But it's like nowadays we have GDC, the Game Developers Conference, and that has kind of taken that over, because where that is essentially like a closed door thing where unless you're like press or in the industry, you can't get in. It's just for that. So, which is something that I think that the industry needs, that like a time where they all can get together and show each other stuff, like I think that's important. So, all
right, let's move on.
Represented 5% of the sales in these stores. In the month of January, it rose to 7.5%. Probably what was more interesting is back in December when it was only 5%.
How many people do you think fell asleep in the crowd by now?
17 store chains in survey were actually carrying 3DO.
No, these people are
Just
here
those
for
6
this,
stores that
man.
carried the 3DO product, 35% of their revenue was on the 3DO format. So this is part of a really significant
Yes, we
shift
know whose
accelerated
YouTube video this was.
move into the next generation stage.
So I guess in December they were
Japan,
5%. Now they're
our two newest
7.5%.
competitors, the PlayStation from Sony, the Saturn from Sega, they've been in the market now for a few months, and once they got through their honeymoon period, we were able to measure the fact that our market share on a sell-through rate was holding up. It was at 30%, for example, of the 3 systems in February. So those 3 systems have kind of divided the market in Japan.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
the company has the Q-Score brand ratings. We currently rank first amongst all the gaming consoles in their brand value ratings.
The other ones are
Wow.
barely out.
Like, how is 3DO getting a higher Q score than the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis? I don't get that.
Yeah. It's probably some like Atari Jaguar like bit logic where they're just taking stuff and making it make sense to themselves.
I mean, I don't deny that there's some truth in this, but it just, I don't know. Some about it seems a little weird to me. Like, how are they ranking number 1 in quality, but they don't have a much more significant market share? You know what I mean? Like, you know, where they're like, oh, we're doing like really well, but it's like, but you only have like 7.5% of the market share. Like, you know what I mean? And then at first, when he was saying PlayStation and Saturn, you know, they've been out for a little bit, I'm thinking, oh, he's talking about the Japan stuff, because I believe PlayStation and Saturn were out in Japan by this point anyway.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. And to be fair, for 3DO to maintain a 30% market share when 2 new consoles are out in Japan is pretty good. You know?
There was still people that were on the 3DO train by this point. I mean, the price had dropped a lot.
Yeah, because he had talked about, like, he was talking to his like Russian taxi cab driver, and he was doing the sell on 3DO, and then the guy's like, "Oh, what's the price?" And he says, "Oh, it's just $399." He's like, "Oh, that's it?" I'm like, "Come on, dude." I'm like, yeah, that dude doesn't know that it came out at $700, and you've cut it now like in half. It's now less than half that price.
See, this slide is interesting the way it's written. So it's
What does that say up there? The computer landscape?
I believe it's like the competing landscape.
Competing landscape.
See if the camera guy moves. The competitive landscape.
Okay, yeah. So we have personal computers at home, mythology and software spending.
Like what does that mean?
Like are they trying to imply that like people aren't going to use their computers to play games? Oh, how they were fucking wrong about that.
To be fair, at this point, the PC world was like weird compared to consoles, but
no, that's in 94 going into 95, like PC gaming was a niche thing. You know, like, I mean, people were gaming on like, you know, Atari computers and Commodores and VIC-20s, and it was more of a thing in Europe because of like the homebrew scene, right? But yeah, like really when Windows 95 came out and then Doom with it, that was really when like PC gaming became more of a thing. And that was like months after this, like months away. So they couldn't predict it at all. But I mean, like Wolfenstein 3D was out at this point. So, and that did well. But of course, I'm not sure how well it did on PC at the time. So, but you know, Doom changed everything, really.
Yeah.
So I guess they're trying to imply that like, oh, people, you know, don't really use their personal computers at home. I mean, you have to think in 94, how many people have a PC in their house in the early 90s? Like not that many. No, by the end of the decade, it would become a lot more common, but we weren't there yet.
That's just one of those things that's really funny when you think about it.
Yeah, like they couldn't see that future at all, you know. And then they see like cartridge dedicated systems, technology transitions. I'm assuming they're saying that like, you know, the cartridge consoles that are out, like they're doing well, but their time is limited. You know, they don't have much more time on the market, which is funny considering, consider the Super Nintendo and the Genesis both lasted till like 97, 98.
True. These last two though, they aren't exactly wrong here. Like the cartridge was on its way out to a degree. And
it was.
The CD
And-
was about to become the standard going forward.
Oh yeah, like CDs once they entered like into the tech space, right, with CD-ROMs, it really did like open everybody's eyes, especially in games, to like, oh, we can move on from like the 4.5 megabit cartridges that we're using to over 700 megabytes on this guy, right? So yeah, it definitely changed everything. But 3DO, I think they're trying to like paint themselves as like they're on the cutting edge of like the new CD technology, and they kind of are, but it just didn't end up working in their favor because it wasn't focused enough, because a few months later, when the PlayStation comes out, that was really where CD technology in that way blew up.
Oh yeah,
because that's where everything changed, because it was much more user friendly.
Oh yeah, because the PlayStation is basically everything the 3DO did, but better, basically.
Yeah, and like developers much preferred coding for the PlayStation. I believe the PlayStation was the first console to where like all the programming was done in C, whereas everything before was done in like BASIC or whatever, which is like a lot harder to do, whereas C is much easier. So developers at the time were like, holy shit, making games now is easier than it's ever been. And we have this CD, we can cram all this shit in there, I mean, I'm romanticizing it a bit, but like, in a way, like, but yeah, you're right. He is correct on like CDs are the next thing, but unfortunately they're not the ones that are going to be, at the front of that train.
I will say the 3DO was like the first system to really get the CD thing right. They unfortunately didn't. They didn't capitalize on it at all.
Yeah, because you had like the Sega CD and the TurboGrafx CD, which were add-ons that were ahead of their time. But being an add-on to a console, it seemed like it didn't hit the way they would have liked them to hit. And then even like the Saturn, I think the Saturn would eclipse the 3DO in a fairly short amount of time.
It would. Yeah. It's really funny when you think like the PlayStation, like super easy to program for, and then they saw the Saturn and they were just like, what the fuck? Like,
shit. Well, I believe the coding on BASIC is what all of like the previous consoles were coded on. Like Genesis, Super Nintendo were all that way. So in probably for a lot of developers, it was something that was still familiar, but seeing how Sony was making it easier for them, going back to the old school Sega way, was kind of a little bit more challenging, which honestly is why some PlayStation games just didn't come to Saturn, because they just couldn't be bothered to go back to the old way.
Yep. All right, let's move on.
The entertainment systems market, and I point out
answer your phone.
These two markets always coexisted. You can go right back to the very beginning when it was the Apple II and the PC market competing against the original Atari video game system. And one of the interesting things about these markets is the PC market has grown pretty steadily. The dedicated market has been very cyclical. Every time there's a down cycle in the dedicated market, the guys in the PC market say, the video game is dead, long live the PC, you don't need a dedicated system, a PC can do everything.
What is this, like modern day?
Technically that may be accurate, that's a little bit like telling the family that they only really
He's making like the console warrior argument.
Exactly the same model of car.
Like he's doing it sarcastically, but that's kind of what people say now.
It's
kind of funny.
Yeah, in '95, it's harder to make that argument.
The PCs, most recently 16-bit cartridge systems outsold the latest generation of personal computers. Not only that, but when a household has
because they were cheaper
products, one of the others, there's about 10 times more spending on entertainment software for the dedicated systems. So these are clearly getting established as different markets. The 16-bit cartridge business, of course, is declining, and it's going to be replaced by this next
Camera guy, what are you doing?
CD systems like 3DO. But it's important not to get confused about what role the PC will play in all this. The PC market will continue to grow.
In case you
thought, the lion's share of the entertainment business is going to continue to be on the dedicated machines, just as it has for the last 20 years. Now we've got these two new competitors that have followed.
So I think what he's trying to say is that like the PC guys back then are trying to be all like, Why do you need a console? You can just get a PC and play everything, which is what they say nowadays. But in 95, it's harder to make that argument because, well, I do believe emulation was starting to become a thing at this time on PC. It was nowhere near where it is now, like at all. I forget the name. There was an MVG video where he talked about like a Super Nintendo emulator for PC that was out when the Super Nintendo was out, like in the early 90s. It was a whole thing. So watch that video if you're curious to it. But like they were trying back then. But really, like, when did like Nesticle come out? Wasn't that like 97 or something? Like it was like a couple. Yeah, it was a couple years after this. So, maybe those PC guys were on to something, but like for like the needs of the market at that particular time, it didn't make any sense. Like in a pre-Windows 95 computer market, like they're much harder to use and they're very expensive. And most people are like, well, what do I really need this thing for? Unless, I need to do like accounting for my job or whatever, like what's the point of this thing? But then, Windows 95 made it a lot simpler, and then more and more games are starting to come out for it. So, again, it's weird just to see like right before like computers started making more sense for like consumers to have, like we're right on the cusp of that.
So one thing I find really interesting here is they're doing a technical comparison of the three systems.
Oh, boy.
Obviously the Mega 64 and N64 was not a thing really at this point. At least not enough known.
Because I think Nintendo officially, when they officially, or the first time they talked about the N64 was when it was Project Reality. It was like in 93 when they're like, oh, we're working with Silicon Graphics for our next like console or whatever. And I believe the N64 was supposed to come out in like 95 as the Ultra 64, but I believe it was this E3 where they delayed it, where they said it's going to come out. So. They're like, it's going to come out next year. We need another year to cook in the oven.
That's why they went so hard on Virtual Boy.
Yeah, but weirdly enough, I think the year delay benefited Nintendo because then they could see Sony and Sega kind of fight each other for the year and then see what happens. So by the time they hit in 96, it's like, oh, they've been out for a little bit, and people will have settled down about them, and then they will look more at what Nintendo is doing, kind of a thing. It felt in probably in plenty of ways it was technical, but also in some ways it was strategic.
Yes, they just underestimated how potent the CD-ROM was going to be.
Yes, well, and also I think Sega and Nintendo and probably even 3DO to an extent were downplaying how successful Sony was going to be.
Well, that's one thing I love about this right here is the shit they're showing here. This is the shit that doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, they're talking about like the CPU, the memory, how fast the CD drive is, which is so funny. Like how many colors, the FMV. And if you look at it, like almost all of them are the exact fucking same. Like the memory, all of them are 40 megabit. CD drives, all 2x speed. Colors, all 16.7 million. And then the FMV, the 3DO and Saturn have MPEG-1, which I think is the file format for their videos. And then the PlayStation's is JPEG. But then they have, for the MPEG-1 as an option, it's like, so you also have JPEG.
Yeah, it's just such weird. Also, they fail to mention that the Saturn has two of these.
Oh, 232-bit Hitachi SH7s. Yeah. It was a whole thing. We won't get into it here. And then 30 and 3DO was using a 32-bit ARM processor. So,
yeah, the 3DO's
like I think the process. I think that CPU is like off the shelf.
It is. It's actually the CPU for the 3DO was pretty good. It was the other stuff that made it weaker.
But it wasn't like custom built for them. It was just kind of they were just like, oh, this will work as like the benchmark. Yeah. And I think that was part of the 3DO's like idea at the time was like, oh, we'll use like off the shelf like components to make our system. So people will be more familiar with them when it comes time to develop games where it's like, oh, we don't have to learn this custom chipset that they've made. We can just be like, oh, they're using an ARM. Oh, we got this, I think that was the idea. And then Sony, that 32-bit R3000 I assume they made that in-house.
Yeah, it's a custom Sony chip, but it was a very easy to work with chip.
Yeah. I mean, Sony had been making chips like that, I think, for years at that point. So
They highlight the 40-bit megabit like in reality 32 was fine. Like it wasn't a big deal.
yeah.
It's
when
funny.
it says memory, I think that means RAM.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I believe so.
yeah,
But
but the 3D.
this is
But the
just
thing is,
such
the 3DO
funny-
and the Saturn don't really take advantage of that 40 megabit RAM.
Well,
Unfortunately,
when they're bogged down by everything they're not showing here.
yeah. So, but it's
This is
just funny
really
seeing them like downplay Sony because I've listened to like Jeff Gertzman a bunch, and he talked about, because he was in the industry at this time, and how like when Sony was announcing they were doing a console, a lot of people thought, oh, it was going to be like a 3DO or this other kind of like gimmicky thing that people know isn't really going to last. That's what people initially thought the PlayStation was going to be. Like, oh, they're vindictive over the Nintendo thing, and they're going to do some CDI garbage, and then that'll be that. But then the talk started going around the industry where it's like, no, Sony means business. Like they're doing this the right way. And then, and that's exactly what they did.
And then the rest is history.
And then they killed everybody else.
Yeah, for like 2 generations. Just murder.
Yeah. Brutal.
All right.
Our footsteps to release an advanced system with multi-processors and a double-speed run drive. And you can see from this slide that technically these machines are relatively similar. They're really in the same ballpark. We feel that we.
I love that adults. Why is adult?
Man. Oh, let's get into this. So, or here, go a little bit forward. I need to see what it says up top.
Kind of go beyond.
I think. Oh, come on.
Positioning of the
Cameraman.
because we have
Cameraman.
Educational software for kids.
Product comparison.
Okay, so product comparison. Again, it's 3DO, Saturn, and PlayStation, and they have like little check marks for everything. We don't know what these check marks necessarily mean. Like the first one is performance. All 3 of them get a check mark. What does that mean? I don't know. They perform well in bed. They work in your bed. Sure. Double speed CD-ROM drive. They all have that. Games. All 3 game systems have games. Crazy. Fucking crazy, dog. Though if you put like the modern systems there, it'd just be question marks.
Yeah.
Because people are stupid. Anyway, but then SW catalog. I don't know what that means.
Software, I think.
Okay. And then education. But that's the thing, software catalog. So it's like the only reason Saturn and PlayStation don't get that check mark is because they're still fairly new at this time.
Yeah.
Like they have a catalog of games, but it's a lot smaller compared to say what the 3DO has, because the 3DO has been out for over a year now.
Yeah. Or I wonder if it means like non-gaming software.
I mean, there is. We haven't covered any of it, but there is. And then education, I guess, putt-putt. Yeah, it's got putt-putt. And then adults.
And Sony have educational games later.
I think Saturn did too.
Probably.
Yeah, and then adult, like, I love that they're highlighting that they have, like, we got porn games on here. Saturn and PlayStation ain't got that. They ain't working with Vivid Interactive.
I mean, there's some questionable weeb shit on the Saturn, but that was all, and probably PlayStation.
Yeah.
But that was only in Japan.
For sure. Yeah. And then AV, that's a fucking lie, because the Saturn and PlayStation both have AV out.
Uh-huh.
That's the Saturn might have S video and the PlayStation might have S video, but like they both have AV out. So you're lying. They have it too, just like you do, asshole.
And then
architecture
mean?
Like, yeah, like, like we use like modern brutalist architecture, but they use like the old school like Art Deco that sucks. Like, what the fuck are we talking about architecture?
Our console looks like a VCR. One of its variations, anyways.
If they're going by like CPU architecture and the innards of the console, it's like PlayStation wins.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. I'm sure 3DO wasn't difficult to make games for. Like, I haven't heard that, but like people just didn't want to make games for it in general. It didn't matter how easy
difficult. It was was just limited. That was like really the
Yeah,
only issue.
and like PlayStation wins. It was easier to make games for, and people were able to push that hardware much more.
Yeah, this is such like you're in school and you need an extra slide, so you just make shit up just
so go back a little bit. I want to hear Trip like talk about this product comparison. If you can go back a little bit.
On positioning of the competition, because we have more educational software for kids, we have more adult-only software, we have more audio-video capability because we support the gamut of photo CD, video CD.
So did PlayStation and Saturn.
We're the only company so far that's offering.
What does that mean? But they have more video outs. I know they have an S video. Like the FC10 does have an S video, but it's like, who gives a shit? Developer considerations, installed base. I mean, there is a base. Lowest fees. That is true.
They did have very low fees. That is one.
Oh,
thing.
yeah. And greatest freedom. That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
They let them make whatever the fuck they wanted. Best software tools at the time, maybe. But again, I feel like you'd have to ask developers, like, who has the best software tools. Because if I remember, like Saturn didn't come with like proper dev kit instruction manuals. Like the dev kits they issued out didn't have proper manuals. So people were like, how the fuck does this thing work? Like that was a whole thing. And then scalable architecture, I guess.
Maybe.
Develop. He's trying. Trip is trying his best.
They're like stretched. They're padding this thing.
Yeah,
that have led to us having sold the large.
Go on.
I want to know what Trip would think of this if he saw this now.
I don't know. He's very wishy-washy on 3DO lately.
That he is. I mean, he talked about it in that Madden documentary recently. So, anyway, go ahead.
Number of development systems for any of these new platforms, and also have the largest backlog of titles in development. For the consumer, the focal point for our business this year.
Best software catalog. That's a fucking lie.
If you're comparing it to the Saturn and PlayStation, which aren't out yet, sure, I guess.
I disagree with that because, I mean, the Saturn came out with Virtua Fighter, Daytona USA, fucking Pepper Knight or whatever.
Virtual Cop.
I'd rather play honestly, I'd rather play those than most of the 3DO's library.
Also, price leader. Obviously, Sony's big moment hadn't happened yet, but as we know, Sony would completely demolish this.
Yeah, because Saturn would launch at $399, which is the same price the 3DO is at this point, and as you said, Sony $299, as we all know. So
they're big middle finger to everybody.
Yeah, and that's basically what did it for them. Is that like, we're gonna come in at a lower price point because fuck you, and it worked because Sony had fuck you money. That's one of the biggest reasons Sony was able to come in so dominant and stay dominant was because they had fuck you money. Sega didn't have; they blew most of their fuck you money in this time. 3DO did not have fuck you money. Atari didn't have fuck you money. Nintendo did, but they just didn't care.
Yeah, Nintendo thought they were invincible still by this point.
Yeah. Nintendo was like, we don't need to spend our money. We're fine. I mean, they still think that way these days, but that's
they're still cheap as fuck.
Yeah. And then the one thing that we will do a deep dive in the future is it says M2 upgrade path.
Yes, this is a mythical piece of 3DO history that this is a rabbit hole right here. We will get to.
We will rabbit hole one of these days, I promise.
We'll get a bit of a sneak peek here because I do believe they go into it later.
Yeah.
It's going to be the sale of the current 3DO system from Panasonic and Gold Star. And we believe that we can have a dramatically stronger software library than the competition. We have much lower manufacturing costs.
Whatever makes you feel better, Trip.
As it has in Japan, translated into some pricing advantages over the course of the year. And also we offer this upgrade path for the M2. So that leaves us in a pretty good position. Now looking at how we position.
Okay. I love it.
3DO system, competitive, elements in place for 1995, whatever that means. And
I
then
love
the
that.
60
Just competitive. Like, yes.
I mean, weirdly enough, in a pre-PlayStation era, kinda.
yeah.
You know, it's not like it was doing that bad. And then the 64-bit M2 system, learning curve. What does that mean? Chance for future leadership. I think that means it's like the M2 could become the future leader in the market. I think is what he's trying to say there.
Yeah, maybe.
Which no, and then do it right. I mean,
Do
if
it
you're gonna
right.
do it, I mean, as I've been told before by some lady friends of mine, if you're gonna do it right.
I just like the implications. Like, we didn't do it right the first time, but this time we're sure to do it right.
Well, we swear, pinky promise.
What intern made this slideshow? Because my God. Oh.
I like to think Tripp made it himself.
He was proud of it. Oh boy.
In our current 3DO system with the M2, we're really focused on the fact that the 1995 year, we're ready to really fire on all cylinders. We've got all the elements in place for a good year with the current 3DO system. We've hit a price point where we can move plenty of volume. We've got good hardware supply. We figured out the marketing formula. We've got a tremendous software.
Dramatic sigh in the background.
Very broad distribution now in many different countries and a lot of different retail stores. And basically, in finally getting a chance to see what the competitive products look like, even not taking the recent change in the yen-dollar exchange rate, which is a big problem for them, not such a big problem for us. We feel very competitive for the balance of this year. Now,
I think he's talking about in like the 90s when Japan's like economics like kind of collapsed because there was a big bubble in Japan through the 80s, I think into the early 90s, and I think by this point that bubble had burst, and then they entered into a recession that lasted for like decades.
Yeah.
So he's right. Yeah, like Japan's economics did change. Like it was fairly recently at that point. So
okay, that makes a bit more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And a learning curve the last 4 years. We've learned a lot about this business. We can take all of that knowledge now and roll it into how we run the M2 business. It's a chance for us to start over, wipe the slate clean, and try to do everything.
Because we fucked up the first time.
And the technology is so good.
We're doing great. Oh, we'll do better next time.
For us at real industry leadership. That's one thing.
$700 was a mistake. We understand.
This year is that nobody's going to be a big winner and nobody's going to be a big loser. The market's going to be.
That's not true.
Yeah. I think one person's going to be a big winner.
Oh, somebody's winning hard.
Share the action. With M2, we have to expand on that and really become a market leader. What's important to us is not exactly when we launch, but how we launch. We want to make sure that we do it right. And of course, that depends on having the right software, having the right product configurations, having a good marketing plan, having a good distribution and territory rollout. And this is a feature that you find in very high.
See, I find it crazy that even like taking PlayStation out of account, right? The idea that the M2 could be the market leader when it's like you have Nintendo doing, Nintendo being at the top, which I think they were at that point, or it was still them and Sega kind of fighting for it. But they both were fairly a competitive, like 1A, 1B kind of thing. They were losing it in 95. They were losing that trust. They hadn't lost it, but it was on shaky ground. But like the Genesis was still doing really well. Like it was still selling very well. People were still making games for it. Like the market was there. In fact, I believe at the end of 95, when Sega was looking at their financials, I think the Genesis did better than the Saturn over here. Saturn did better in Japan. But the Genesis sold super well over here. In fact, I believe Kalinske suggested that they should delay the Saturn over here another year because the Genesis is still so strong. It's like, why bother? Like, we still can get another good year and a half out of this before we do Saturn. And then they could take that year to refine the hardware and not make it so fucking hodgepodge, and it would be a better thing for everybody. But Japan was like, fuck you.
Yeah, and also
doing it our way.
to own a fucking 32X. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole mess. But like, I just cannot see a world where 3DO can compete with Nintendo or Sega and beat both of them. I just don't see it because, like, we've played through a fair amount of the library, and like even the good games, like I don't know how many of them really rival like the best stuff on either console.
Yeah, it's
like and there's some fantastic games on the 3DO, but like I just don't think it has enough to really be that. And we'll talk about it when we get to the M2, like the list of games that were going to come to the M2. Like it's a pretty interesting list. I just don't know if it would have been enough.
It's a weird case of like, it's kind of a what could have been thing, because like,
yeah,
everyone knows the only true 64-bit console when bits were a talking point was the N64.
I mean, Jaguar is 64-bit though.
Jaguar is like a weird thing. It is
64-bit, but it was so hard to make games that were 64-bit that everybody just used the 16-bit processor they threw on there because they're like, oh, people will just use that instead.
It's weird because like the Jaguar's main processor is technically 32-bit. There's the Genesis processor in there, and then there's these like blitters and things that are technically 64-bit that bump it up to 64.
Yeah,
it's a weird. The Saturn is interesting. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, but the Jaguar is a 64-bit console. It's just it didn't like nobody really knew how to use it, so that's why none of the games really ended up being like that. So, but yeah, the M2 would have been one of the few 64-bit consoles on the market, but
yeah, not counting like the PlayStation 2, I guess, because that's like the only other one I can think of.
I thought PS2 was 128.
It's the Emotion Engine's technically 64.
Okay.
The 128 was just kind of a buzzword because technically the Dreamcast is only 32, even though that one also gets 128'd all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think once we hit the 128 bits, that's when everyone stopped giving a shit.
Yeah.
They're like, the number's like, too big. We're done.
I think one of the subjects on the Dreamcast was 128, so they were like, it's 128-bit. And eventually people realized the shit didn't matter.
Yeah. The Xbox 360 is my favorite 256-bit console.
The 360 is technically... The 360 is probably technically like 32. Because like bits actually don't matter that much.
Yeah, it's whatever. All
right, let's see what this blob is. Or not, I guess.
Is that MIP mapping? Go back.
Cameraman.
No, like you go back to the start of the video. Let's see if we can make it out. Does it say MIP mapping? Oh, there it goes. MIP mapping. System dynamically computes levels of texture detail based on distance from camera. Images appear to scale more smoothly. Images
so texture scaling.
No runtime penalty. Get your flags off the fields, kids. We're changing the rules.
So
no yellow flag.
They just made a new word for texture scaling.
Well, I don't think texture scaling was like a thing yet because like 3D games weren't that common in 95.
Yeah, I guess this was their attempt at making.
But
I guess they were trying to make the new
term,
but most people were like, "That's stupid."
Hashtag MIP mapping.
We need to bring it back.
And then the picture they use is like this weird. I can barely make it out. Is that a dinosaur?
It looks like a dinosaur.
I don't know. Ugh, disgusting.
I'm typing in MIP mapping just to see what comes up. I hope it's not offensive.
I'll say maybe turn safe search on just to be safe.
MIP mapping is a computer. Okay, so I guess it is a word. Oh yeah, it's got a Wikipedia article. Okay, 3DO. Okay, we'll give you. I'm sorry, 3DO. This is a real thing, apparently.
We're so sorry, Trip. Please come on the show.
Yeah. All right. So let's
very high-end graphic workstations and maybe very high-end point-op 3D hardware today. It's never been seen in the consumer market. So you have the ability to then move the camera in and out and with incredible smoothness, which makes everything look very real. Another
Perspective corrections.
Takes the Z dimension into account when mapping a texture to a polygon. Current
so
system texture. Oh, that's Monster Manor on the left.
What is it?
It's Monster Manor.
Oh yeah,
Like the hand with the gun. Yeah. Shout out to Monster Manor.
One of the
One of the best games on the system. A great game. And
apparently,
go ahead.
So I was going to say, apparently the texture with correction is just the fucking Windows screensaver.
I was just about to say it looks like the Windows brick wall screensaver. If you know, you know. Yeah, but it has like a blue sky. Like, how does that look better? Like to me, it looks worse.
It's like this looks like something. This is literally the. I'm sure.
I mean, but Monster Manor was all like 2D graphics, right? Like it was all pre-rendered.
It was the Doom style. Well, technically Wolfenstein, I guess.
Yeah, but it's all like 2D like art. You know, I don't really think there's any 3D graphics in Monster Manor.
No, it did whatever the whatever like Doom and Wolfenstein did, where it's not technically 3D.
And it's so crazy when you see this stuff and it's like, look at this like 2D, like this really nice 2D pixel art. And they're like, this looks like shit. This is the future. And it's some crappy 3D polygons.
Yeah.
I'm like, did people really think this looked better? Like, come on, guys.
I'm sure this is technically superior, but like this, this is such a bad comparison.
I know, but they're trying.
Feature hardware's perspective correction. The image that's on the left, you can see that as the texture map that's on the wall is getting closer and closer to us, who's the left side of the image, it's starting to get distorted. And that's because none of the hardware systems today have this perspective correction feature. On the far side of the slide, you can see the brick wall is done accurately. The floor purposely was done without any perspective correction. It's a little hard to see here, but if you got a close look at it, you realize it doesn't look so three-dimensional when you're not using that feature. And we can use that feature all the time because it's hardware.
Z buffer.
There's some laughing back there. But the Z buffer. The fuck's a Z buffer? Traditional coin op or workstation feature manages complex objects intersecting dynamically, hidden surface calculations done by the system, big performance gain when using complex models. I don't know what any of that means.
So Z buffering is a technique that does exist. So this is a real thing as well.
Sure.
A Z buffer, also known as a depth buffer, is a type of data buffer used in computer graphics to store depth information of fragments. The values stored represent the distance to the camera, with 0 being the closest.
So like depth of, so it's like depth of field, basically.
Pretty much.
Your field of view. Like the system, it'll recognize textures from a certain distance to like the player character, kind of a thing. I think that's what that means.
Basically explaining that the for a system that never technically came out, they were like, it's going to do all this stuff that's commonplace nowadays. So,
I mean, this is revolutionary stuff at the time because they're trying to figure out like, if we're going to be making 3D games, how's that going to work? You know,
it's interesting because I'm pretty sure like they had no idea what the PlayStation could actually do at this point, so they were just
no. Sony, I think, kept everything very well under wraps. So I think they wanted to shock people.
And they did.
Mm-hmm.
Really exciting feature is the Z buffer. What this basically means is if I've got a fairly complicated 3D world and I want to move the camera angle, sometimes I'm going to be looking at objects that are obscuring or hiding other objects, and I need to be able to figure out automatically how to render that scene.
Trip's about to do the chop.
What parts are visible and hide what parts are not visible. With the Z buffer capability in hardware,
his hand like this the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, we got a new screen.
Texture map graphics.
Ooh.
Mortal Kombat. A game not on 3DO.
Is that the Genesis version?
Oh, Way of the Warrior.
Oh, fuck off. That's Way of the Warrior. Virtua Fighter? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that's... Oh, yeah, Battle Arena Toshinden.
I was gonna say Toshinden. I never played it.
Now we're going to go to the same type of application.
We're gonna see M2
Ooh.
graphics.
Oh, all right. You see some army men.
The smoothness of the movement, the ability to move the camera.
If only this video was smooth.
Yeah.
And the incredible depth of color.
Actually, that window effect was kind of cool.
Hey, get
I'm not
this
gonna lie.
dinosaur out of my Japanese house.
Hi, lady.
Oh God.
It's
What
their
the,
pet.
is this fight?
Give,
looks like
give me a
fighting-
hug.
Bro, this looks like fighting vipers.
It's-
What are we doing? Rah!
that window effect is kind of cool though. It's the way they scaled
Oh, it looks so bad.
Row shading, we're going to look at Ridge Racer on the PlayStation, which does not have row shading, and then we'll look at the
Gorard shading? Gourard? Looks French. Jurard.
it. It's Racer.
It's Ridge Racer. Remember that one?
This guy's playing really bad. Just
It's too bad.
Oh, and they're like, look at how fucking sick this game looks.
the
Honestly,
guy
that
in the back.
that looks kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, what? What? Some dude in the background being stupid?
Listen, the guy in the background. When the guy's spinning, there's a guy in the background.
I will
who makes the
say
best
that-
comment.
I'll say that racing on M2 actually looks kind of sick.
It's probably pre-rendered though. Just
Oh,
listen in
yeah.
the background
Okay,
what this
okay.
guy in the background says.
the surfaces are.
Yeah, but it's still a good game.
Wait for it.
It's too bad it won't look like that.
Too bad it won't look like that.
He knows his shit. He's so Ridge Racer is like, yeah, but it's still a good game. He's right.
I love
Ridge
that-
Racer is a good game.
The person playing Ridge Racer 2 was literally just playing like shit just to make it look bad.
Yeah, that dude was
I mean-
like, yeah, but it's still a good game. There's no way it's gonna
This-
look like that.
It looks good, but this is like a pre-render. Like there's no way
Yeah,
the game's gonna
yeah,
look
like
this.
like that looks like some you'd like if that was on Dreamcast, you'd be like, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, Dreamcast. Well, I mean, we don't know. The M2 is such a weird graphical thing. It might have looked like this. We've just
Who
never
knows?
seen it.
But like, I don't like. I couldn't see something like that on N64. No.
No, well, because the frame rate would go to shit and it was super like choppy.
And it was bad already. It's just getting even worse.
Yeah.
There's no way it's gonna look like that.
I love I love that comment.
This first demo is going to show you some panels of colors moving together, which shows you how easily we can blend together these images because of the filtering capability. This is showing bitmap first. On the bottom of the
Cow.
screen, you see bitmap.
Ow.
And you notice that as you zoom into the scene, it's very natural. When you look at the top, it's the same data with the bitmap turned off. Notice that the green grass kind of flickers at you as you zoom in and out, and when you get in close, you lose a lot of the detail.
It's one of those memes where the PC players are like, look at this versus this.
Zooming in on the eyeballs.
Oh, Doom.
Here's
A game that didn't
Oh,
run
hi.
on 3DO. Oh, I Doom.
That's Jaguar. That was Jaguar Doom.
Most likely. What is this?
Ooh, I wish.
I
That looks
wish.
interesting. I mean, that looks kind of interesting. I don't know what it is though.
did. I don't know what it was, but
And then you woke up.
Then you woke up.
Take the car,
I like the sarcastic cameraman.
see through the glass.
Respect.
Look at the glass on the other side and see a building, and have your application automatically know how to make all that work without requiring the application to think about it. You can see this sort of seamlessly able to blend things together. Very high color resolution, and multiple levels of transparency. Real key in being able to look natural. Okay, now we're actually going to go back and show
Now we're
you
playing Wind
the
Waker.
wireframe.
Or is it Echo the Dolphin?
Notice that there's a dolphin moving
That's
around.
sailing on CDI.
Because we don't have the color drawn, we don't have the Z button turned down. Notice the palm fronts are very simple and key as we go through. Now we're going to add the color. You can notice the scene will look a lot better. Notice now a lot more detail in the king wall and the water. The dolphin disappears. The boat
It looks kind of like a step behind Dreamcast, at least in terms of water.
Sure.
Again, you can have an unlimited frame rate.
The problem is the video is so choppy. Like I can't really tell. Like if we could time travel and watch this in person, that'd be sick.
There's another transparency.
Ooh, the dinosaur's back.
Oh, there. Thank God you left my house. Now let's fight. It's the same animation.
Yep.
It's the exact same.
Give me a hug.
He's gonna do the bar again. I told you, it's the same animation. They just moved him.
Which is like the real thing.
Play your outdoor
Wait,
games outside.
Trip.
It's just
The real thing where you normally fight dinosaurs.
ain't nothing like the real thing, man.
I like the implication that Trip Hawkins fights dinosaurs.
I believe it. I believe it.
It's a little bit out because it's recorded on video, but the first
Oh, my favorite MPEG.
our Cinepack video, which is the software compression scheme common on 3DO and other machines. You'll notice some blocking artifacts. If you look around the guy's head, you see some of that blockiness.
Is this a movie?
A couple years ago, you couldn't do that at all.
That was
Now, first with MPEG, it's just videotape quality. I think this is going to be a particularly useful feature.
that man's been about facing just on repeat.
We're going to look at sort of a migration in the quality of 3D style applications, starting with Road Rash on the 16-bit machine. Notice the low frame rate, the limited number of polygons.
Road Rash.
Yes.
He's laughing. He's like,
Racing.
Don't diss virtual racing.
that's the 32X version.
It's actually like one of the better versions.
This is
Right.
Daytona for the Saturn, which is comparable.
To be Daytona for the Saturn did kind of run like shit, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Put it this way, just so you can see what a quantum
Oh, this thing again.
I still have a soft spot for the Saturn version of Daytona, but that's a whole other thing.
Nice. Too bad it's not gonna be on the real system.
Fucking burn, dude. It's not gonna be on a real system. He's like the M2 is bullshit.
He's the guy that's like, he's the guy at like every E3 who was always like, it's just a pre-render, it's not actual gameplay.
I mean,
It's the Killzone 2 trailer. The hell? Okay. Is this the legendary Daikatana?
what the fuck am I looking at? Man, Quake's Alpha did not look good.
Is John Romero gonna make us his bitch?
Trip Hopkins is gonna make you his bitch.
He's still working on Portal Runner.
Oh, we landed in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh no.
It spins. It spins.
Oh. Hi.
I mean,
I
seeing
hate when the
your
rug comes to life.
I mean, seeing your character's reflection in a first-person game. A lot of modern games don't even do that.
This is like the freaking the ending to Harvester. Like, what's going on?
But in first person.
Oh, it's the car again.
So that game's in the headlight of the car.
I guess.
What are we watching?
The player is not very good.
So they're showing off this really impressive 3D graphics for this racing game to be a first-person racing game.
Yes. Or it's just the POV setup. Oh.
Ah! We're gonna die.
You know the cameraman's not clapping. Because he wasn't impressed at all.
He's holding the camera.
We're looking forward to coming back in a few months to give you more details about how we're going to roll it out. In the meantime, we're delighted to be able to show you this glimpse of what the next generation is going to look like even before our competitors have caught up with our current products. And we're looking forward to having a great
I think they've already caught up, Trip.
with the 3DO system and a great year with it. And I would be delighted if you want to stick around and ask me or other executives questions about the business. We'd be happy to answer them. And of course, we'll be able to show up in the next few days. So thanks very much for
Oh,
joining.
wow. Oh, I wish you would stick around for the Q&A.
He looks so happy.
If only he knew. Oh,
And that
wow.
that was 3DO's presentation.
What a... I don't know what to think of that. I'm sold. I'll take 10.
I do want to show one other image about 3DO's booth because this didn't really showcase it. But
Please do. Please do.
one of their marketing strategies for the first E3. So a lot of the booths would, because I know like Acclaim famously would bring like supermodels stuff to like the booths because that was the
Booth babes.
Yeah, that was the era. 3DO also did this.
I mean,
but
those
their
lasted like
choice
the PS3 generation,
was-
dude.
Yeah. I have to bring up 3DO though, because their choice was interesting.
It was a choice.
Oh, this image is terrible. It's super tiny. 1 second here. I gotta find a better one.
I mean, it's being compressed on that super great MPEG.
Yeah. Yep. See if I can find the article.
Just seeing JPEG was so funny because I'm like, God damn it! If an image isn't a PNG, I don't want it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna bring this up. It's super tiny. Yeah, that's shitty, but that is the booth for 3DO. You can barely see it. Those are the cheerleaders for the San Diego Chargers.
Oh yeah, they're still in San Diego at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope they got paid. I hope they got paid for that because NFL cheerleaders kind of get treated like shit. That's a thing. They get paid less than minimum wage. This is pretty bad.
Yeah. It's just funny.
Was,
like they
was
weren't even
3DO headed in San Diego.
I think they were in California.
Yeah, but there weren't any LA football teams at the time because the Rams had moved to St. Louis by that point.
Yeah,
The Raiders were in they were in Oakland because they were in LA during the 80s, I think.
Oh, I found the other shot of it. Let's see if this one is any better.
Maybe it'll look a little cleaner.
It's still tiny, but it's whatever. So we also had this shot where it's just the booth and they're just there. Like
They're just like, why the hell are we doing this? Did you get a paycheck? Paycheck. You guys are getting paid.
Yeah, pretty much. I do want to bring up. I read a thing that's like the most like what the fuck like thing I ever. Apparently, let me see here if I can find it again. It was on IGN's website. Where is this? I hope I didn't just like imagine this. Okay, yes. Apparently at the first E3, according to this IGN article, in a boarded off section of the show, there was an interactive pornographic software manufacturer that had John Wayne Bobbitt, yes, that guy, and it says a guy who became an international celebrity for reasons later, was at the signing, and he was signing a copy game called Uncut. Yeah.
No fucking way. No fucking way.
According to this IGN article, the article says, and it literally says, and I'm not making this up, copies of a program titled Uncut. Bobbitt then found out what hotel the Flame Girls were in and reportedly called them. Lovely.
Oh, that's it. We're canceling the show. We're done. We're done.
The first E3 was wild. That's all I can say.
That doesn't begin to describe it. Holy shit.
It's just like,
I'm dying. Oh my god. I don't know where to start. Oh god. Yeah, listener, if you don't know who John Wayne Bobbitt is, just do a Google search. You will be
okay.
Woo!
I found
Tell me this game still exists.
I have no idea, but you look closely there.
There's an IGN article.
Yeah, there's a whole IGN article about the first E3. This section right here,
well,
just randomly brings this up.
Well, because I think IGN were around at this point, but they weren't called IGN. They weren't they called like Planet Nintendo or something?
I'm not really sure. I want to look this up deeper. Do I really want to look this up
deeper and uncut?
I guess I kind of I might have to, because I'm like, is that real? I have no idea.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that was the first that was 3D first E3, and it was something. My favorite part about it is how confident.
Okay, so
like,
IGN was created in September 1996 as the Image Games Network. It was a content network founded by publishing exec Jonathan Simpson Bint and began as 5 individual websites within N64.com, which later was renamed IGN64, PSX Power, Saturn World, NextGeneration.com, and Ultra Game Players Online.
Huh.
So that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh yeah, they were like, yeah, N64.com. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Sorry about that.
What were you saying, Bill?
I was just saying, like, it was very interesting looking at the press conference, just how confidently, like, incorrect at times Tripp was, but also, like, he wasn't entirely wrong the entire time as well. He had some wisdom, but also a lot of it was just like him, like, him praying for something.
I mean, if anything, it's just a reflection of like the first E3, because if you really think about it, if you watch like Sega's presser or like any other like company who did like a whole thing, it wasn't that different than this. It was like they were trying to cram like a shareholders meeting, a summarized like consumer electronics show thing. You know, they're trying to cram everything in there where they're like, you know, here's where our business is going, like financially, and then like here's the tech that's going on, and here's some preview of some games, you know, like it's all very rough shot. Like, we don't know what we're doing, so we're just gonna try to cram everything we can in here, you know, without any showmanship. It's just Tripp up there being like, 3DO's doing fucking great, and here's why it's doing great, but we'll do better next time for M2. Like, what are we doing here, man?
A lot of mixed signals, but
very much. It is. I feel like I'm on Tinder again.
Yeah, it does say a lot though when you do think about a lot of the stuff from this E3. Most of the most memorable moments are like the buzz moments, like Sony's the 299 or the Virtual Boy demonstration, just like stuff like that. Or the Atari E3 would be interesting to watch at some point, just because it is insane. Like there was a virtual reality helmet for the Jaguar at one point.
Oh yeah, I've read about that before, and thank God that didn't come out.
Yeah, but Yeah, that was a fun little detour. That was actually more interesting than I thought it would be.
That was yeah. Shout out to the camera guy. I guarantee you the YouTube channel is that guy.
I think it might be because he was commenting in the videos. Like I said, I guess I should probably shout the. Well, I mean, the video does shout him out like multiple times with that scroll.
I mean, he hasn't uploaded, as you said, in 14 years. I don't think he can.
No, his last upload was like 14 years ago, and there is direct rips of this guy's video on other channels. So
yeah, so who cares?
But yeah, I guess that should do it for this episode. We got almost 2 hours out of this one. That's amazing.
Well, because we spent the time talking about the gaming industry in 1995.
Yeah, and we did break down all the slides. I liked how we had our nice like intellectual breakdowns, and then we got Trip speak of like each slide after.
We're like, what does this mean? And he's like, it means this. Like, oh, okay.
We're just like, that still doesn't help us.
A little bit, but not enough.
Yeah. But yeah. So next week we will be back into our usual rotation. We had to move a game around due to scheduling. Next week we're going to be moving on with our next set of games, so we'll have a guest next week. Looking forward to that. Yeah, and I guess once again, guys, thank you for joining us on the 3DO Experience. You can find 3DO Experience on all the major podcasting platforms, and be sure to check us out on the Superpod Network, superpodnetwork.com. Awesome site with a whole bunch of awesome shows, videos, blogs. You were making progress on the new Thrack Ops, I saw, right?
Yes, the campaign is done, so I'm working on doing my proper research on some other stuff, so I can. I'm probably gonna be starting the recording very soon. So if I'm lucky, it'll be out by like Sunday or Monday. So we shall see. It's been a while since I've sat down and talked about a COD, but I'll get started on that. Probably by the time you're listening to this, well, if you're not listening to it directly in the morning, but I'll be working on it soon.
I will.
Yeah, I will. So yeah, Thrack Ops should be out hopefully by the end of this week into next week. So I'm
Nice.
I'm ready to get back into the swing of things. So.
Nice. And I guess all out. I was recently on the Play Along podcast for their 300th episode, talking about the 300 game on PSP. It was a thing. So be sure to check that out.
And check out the Pixel Project Radio you were on, talking about 3D Game Heroes with Rick.
Yeah. And me not knowing what the Fresh Prince theme sounds like.
You can tell Bill doesn't listen to the hip hop.
Not really.
He's listening to fucking AFI and like white people music.
Yes. Anyways. Yeah, and I'm not sure when they'll be out, but we did also do some writing for the Superpod Network. We're talking about our favorite GBA games, so be sure me and Thrak both contributed.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I don't know if Aaron's still on vacation, but he might be. I don't know.
He might be. Whenever the boss man posts, they'll be there.
Yeah. Don't.
But,
we'll let you know. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, here.
Bye-bye.
If you're not playing on a 3DO system, what are you playing with?